O devotees, listen with rapt attention as we read the Chaitanya Charitamrita. Bandeham Shri Guru Shri Yata Padakamalam Shri Gurun Vaishnavam Scha Shri Rupam Sagrajantam Sagana Raghunatam Bitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Sabadutam Parijana Saitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Sahagana Lalita Shivishikam Vitam Scha. Om Ajnana Timaranda Shagyana Jana Shalakaya Chakshorum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namah. Vanchakalpatarubhyasya kripasindubhyevacha patitanam pavanebhyo vaishnavebhyo namo 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 mahabananyaya Krishna prema pradayate Krishnaya Krishna Chaitanya namane gonatavishe nama. So we're hearing from chapter 14. This is Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita by Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami, translation and commentary by Srila Prabhupada. And we're hearing chapter 14, performance of the Vrindaban pastimes. So Maharaj Prataparudra is speaking with Kashi Mishra and telling him to arrange the Hera Panchami festival very opulently with so much prasadam, even more than the Ratha Yatra ceremony, and make it very grand and attractive for everyone. So, Pratakale Mahaprabhu Nijagan Loya Jagannath Darshan Kara Sundarachala Yaya. In the morning, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu took his personal associates with him to see Lord Jagannath, that's Sundarachala, that's the Gundicha temple. Sundarachala is the Gundicha temple. The temple of Jagannath at Jagannath Puri is called Nilachala, and the temple at Gundicha is called Sundarachala. Nilachale Aila Puna Bhakta Gana Sange Dekite Utkandara Pancha Mira Range. So it started with verse number 113. Nilachali Aila Puna Bhakta Gana Sange Dekite Utkanta Hera Panchamira Range. Then Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu and his personal devotees returned to Nilachala with great eagerness to see the Hera Panchami festival. Kashi Mishra Prabhure Bahu Adara Korea Swagana Sahav Malo Stani Vasaila Loya. Kashi Mishra received Chaitanya Mahaprabhu with great respect, and taking the Lord and his associates to a very nice place, he had them seated. Rasa Vishesh Prabhu Shunile Mana Hoila Ishad Hasiya Prabhu Swarup Puchila. After taking his seat, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu wanted to hear about a particular mellow of devotional service. Therefore, mildly smiling, he began to question Swarup Damodar. Yadyapi Jagannath Koren Dwarakaya Bihar Sahaja Prakata Kore Parama Udar Tatapi Vatsara Madhye Hoy Ekbar Vrindavana Dekite Tara Utkanta Apar. Although Lord Jagannath enjoys his pastimes at Dwarkadam and naturally manifests sublime liberality there, still once a year he becomes unlimitedly eager to see Vrindaban. Vrindavana Sam E Upabanagan Tahadeki Bare Utkantita Hoyman. pointing out the neighboring gardens, Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, all these gardens exactly resemble Vrindaban, therefore Lord Jagannath is very eager to see them again. Bahir hoite kore rakta chatra chalo, Sundarachala jai Prabhu chare nila chala. Externally, he gives the excuse that he wants to participate in the Ratha Yatra festival. But actually, he wants to leave Jagannath Puri to go to Sundarachala, the Gundicha temple, a replica of Vrindaban. Nana puspo dhyane tata keli ratridine Lakshmi Devire sange nahi loy ki karane. The Lord enjoys his pastimes day and night in various flower gardens there. But why does he not take Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, with him? So why doesn't Jagannath take Lakshmi Devi with him? She's his wife. Swarup ko heshuna Prabhu karana ihar Vrindavana kridate lakmira nahyadikar. Swarup Damodar replied, my dear Lord, please hear the reason for this. Lakshmi Devi, the goddess of fortune, cannot be admitted to the pastimes of Vrindaban. Madhya-lila Krishnera Sahaya Gopigana Bina Krishnera Korite Nareman. In the pastimes of Vrindaban, the only assistants are the gopis. But for the gopis, no one can attract the mind of Krishna. Prabhu Kohid Jatra Chale Krishnera Gaman Subhadrara Baladeva Sange Duijan. The Lord said, using the car festival as an excuse, Krishna goes there with Subhadra and Baladev. Gopi Sange Jata-lila Hoy Upavane Niguda Krishnera Bhava Keho Nahi Jane. All the pastimes with the gopis that take place in those gardens are very confidential ecstasies of Lord Krishna. No one knows them. Ateva Krishnera Prakatye Nahi Kachudosh Tabekene Lakshmi Devi Kore Etarosh. Since there is no fault at all in Krishna's pastimes, why does the goddess of fortune become angry? Swarup Kohe Premavatir Eta Swabhav Kantera Odashya Leshe Hoy Krodabhav. Swarup Damodar replied, it is the nature of a girl afflicted by love to become immediately angry upon finding any neglect on the part of her lover. Henakale Kachita Yahe Bibida Ratan Suvarnera Chodola Kore Arohan. When Swarup Damodar and Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu were talking, the procession of the goddess of fortune came by. She was riding upon a golden palanquin carried by 4 men and bedecked with a variety of jewels. Chatra Chamara Dwaja Patakaragan Nanan Badya Agenache Deva Dashigan. The palanquin was also surrounded by people carrying umbrellas, chamarawis, and flags, and it was preceded by musicians and dancing girls. Tambula Samputa Jari Vyanjana Chamar Satidashe Shatahara Divya Bhushambar. The maidservants were carrying water pitchers, chamarawis, or yaktail, chamarawis, or like yaktail fans, Maidservants were carrying water pitchers, chamara whisks, and boxes for betel nuts. There were hundreds of maidservants, all attractively dressed and wearing valuable necklaces. Alaukika Ishvarya Sange Bahu Parivar Kruda Haya Lakshmi Devi Aila Semadwar. In an angry mood, the goddess of fortune arrived at the main gate of the temple, accompanied by many members of her family, all of whom exhibited uncommon opulence. Jagannathara Mukhya Mukhya Jatabritya Gane Lakshmi Devir Dashigan Korana Bandhane. When the procession arrived, the maidservants of the goddess of fortune began to arrest all the principal servants of Lord Jagannath. Arresting all Jagannath's principal servants. Bandiyani Apade Lakmira Charane Chari Jena Danda Kore Loy Nanadane. The maidservants bound the servants of Jagannath, handcuffed them, and made them fall down at the lotus feet of the goddess of fortune. Indeed, they were arrested just like thieves who have all their riches taken away. When Lord Jagannath starts his car festival, he gives assurance to the goddess of fortune that he will return the next day. When he does not return, the goddess of fortune, after waiting 2 to 3 days, begins to feel that her husband has neglected her. She naturally becomes quite angry. Gorgeously decorating herself and her associates, she comes out of the temple and stands before the main gate. All the principal servants of Lord Jagannath are then arrested by her maidservants, brought before her and forced to fall down at her lotus feet. Achetanavat Tare Korana Tadane Nana Mata Galidena Bandavachane. When the servants fall down before the lotus feet of the goddess of fortune, when the servants fell down before the lotus feet of the goddess of fortune, they almost fell unconscious. They were chastised and made the butt of jokes and loose language. Lakshmi Sangeda Shiganer Prakalbya Jekiya Hasema Prabhurgana Mukhe Hastadiya. When Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu's associates saw such impudence exhibited by the maidservants of the goddess of fortune, they covered their faces with their hands and began to smile. Damodar Kohe Aiche Manera Prakar Sri Jagate Kahanahi Dekishaniar. Swarup Damodar said, "There is no egoistic pride like this within the 3 worlds. At least I have never seen or heard of it." Egoistic pride of Lakshmi. Manini Nirutsahe Chare Vibhushan Bhume Base Nake Leke Malina Badan. When a woman is neglected and disappointed out of egoistic pride, she gives up her ornaments and morosely sits down on the ground, marking lines on it with her nails. Purve Satya Bhamar Shuni Evam Vidaman Braja Gopi Ganera Man Rasara Nidan. I have heard of this kind of pride in Satyabhama, Krishna's proudest queen, and I've also heard of it in the gopis of Vrindaban, who are the reservoirs of all transcendental mellows or rasas. Ihonija Sampati Sab Prakata Korea Priyera Ubara Jai Shainya Sajaya. But in the case of the goddess of fortune, I see a different kind of pride. She manifests her own opulences and even goes with her soldiers to attack her husband. After seeing the impudence of the goddess of fortune, Swarup Damodar Goswami wanted to inform Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu about the super excellence of the gopis' loving affairs. He therefore said, "My Lord, I have never experienced anything like the behavior of the goddess of fortune. We sometimes see a beloved wife becoming proud of her position and then frustrated due to some neglect. We sometimes see a beloved wife become proud of her position and then frustrated due to some neglect. She then gives up caring for her appearance, accepts dirty clothes, and morosely sits on the ground and claws. She then gives up caring for her appearance, accepts dirty clothes, and morosely sits on the ground and draws lines with her nails. We have heard of such egoistic pride in Satyabhama and the gopis of Vrindaban, but what we see in the goddess of fortune here at Jagannath Puri is completely different. She becomes very angry with her husband and attacks him with her great opulence. Prabhu kohe kaha brajer manera prakar Swarup kohe gopi mana nari shatadar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said, "Please tell me of the varieties of egoistic pride manifested in Vrindaban." Swarup Damodar replied, "The pride of the gopis is like a river flowing with hundreds of tributaries." So they're describing, he's hearing from Swarup Damodar, Mahaprabhu hearing from Swarup Damodar about the pride of the gopis, but Mahaprabhu says, "Well, tell me about the pride." Well, he's hearing from Swarup Damodar about the pride of Lakshmi, and now Mahaprabhu says, "I want to hear about the pride of the gopis in Vrindaban." Nayikara swabhava prema vrite bahubeda sevede nana prakar manera udbeda. The characteristics and modes of love are different in different women. Their jealous anger also takes on different varieties and qualities. Samyak gopi kara manana jai katan egg dui bede kore digdarshan. It is not possible to give a complete statement about the different types of jealous anger manifest by the gopis, but a few principles may serve as an indication. Mani keho hoi dira kehota adir 18 bede keho hoi dira dir Mani keho hoi dira kehota adir 18 bede keho hoi dira dir. There are three types of women experiencing jealous anger: sober women, restless women, and women both restless and sober. Dira kante dure deke kore pratyutan nikate asile kore asana pradhan. When a sober heroine sees her hero approaching from a distance, she immediately stands up to receive him. When he comes near, she immediately offers him a place to sit. Hridoya kopa muke kohe madhura bachan priya alingite tare kore alingan. The sober heroine conceals her anger within her heart and externally speaks sweet words. When her lover embraces her, she returns his embrace. That's the sober heroine. Sarala Vyavahara Kore Manera Poshan Kimwa Solunta Bhake Kore Priya Nirasan. The sober heroine is very simple in her behavior. She keeps her jealous anger within her heart, but with mild words and smiles, she rejects the advances of her lover. The sober heroine is very simple in her behavior. She keeps her jealous anger within her heart, but with mild words and smiles, she rejects the advances of her lover. Adiran Nishtura Bhakye Koraye Bartsan Karotnat Karnot Pale Tade Kore Malaya Badan Adira Nishtura Bhakye Koraye Bartsan Karnot Pale Tade Kore Malaya Badan. The restless heroine, however, sometimes chastises her lover with cruel words, sometimes pulls his ear, and sometimes binds him with a flower garland. Dira dira bakra bakye kore upahas kabul stute kabul ninda kabuna udas. Dira dira bakra bakye kore upahas kabul stuti kabul ninda kabul ba udas. The heroine, who is a combination of sobriety and restlessness, always jokes with equivocal words. She sometimes praises her lover, sometimes blasphemes him, and sometimes remains indifferent. Mudga Madhya Pragalbda Teen Naikarabed Mudga Nahi Jani Maner Vaidagja Vibed. Heroines may also be classified as captivated, intermediate, and impudent. The captivated heroine does not know very much about the cunning intricacies of jealous anger. Mukha Achadya Kore Kevala Rodan Kandera Priyavakya Shani Hoy Parasana. The captivated heroine simply covers her face and goes on crying. When she hears sweet words from her lover, she is very satisfied. That's when captivated. She's completely captivated by feelings of love for her lover, and she won't act improperly. She's afraid of acting in such a way that draws censure from her lover. Captivated heroine simply covers her face and goes on crying. When she hears sweet words from her lover, she is very satisfied. No, don't cry. Madhya pragalbya dare diradi vibed taramadye sabar swabhave tinabed. Both the intermediate and impudent heroines. Impudent means very, not shameful, can be angry, very angry. Both the intermediate and impudent heroines can be classified as sober, restless, and both sober and restless. all their characteristics can be further classified in three divisions. Keho Prakar, Keho, Mridu Keho, Hoy Sam, Swabhave, Krishna, Badaya Prema, Sima. Some of these heroines are very talkative. Some are mild and some are equipoised. Each heroine, according to her own character, increases Sri Krishna's loving ecstasy. So some of the heroines, some of the gopis are very talkative. Some are mild and some are equipoised. Each heroine, according to her own character, increases Sri Krishna's loving ecstasy. Prakarya, Mardava, Samya, Swabhava, Nirdosh, Se, Swabhave, Krishna, Koraya, Santosh. Although some of the gopis are talkative, some mild, and some equipoised, all of them are transcendental and faultless. They praise Krishna by their unique characteristics. Radharani is known as Bhama. She's, we could say, left-wing gopi. And she's she can be very angry and chastise Krishna and punish him. Although some of the gopis are talkative, some mild, and some equipoised, all of them are transcendental and faultless. They please Krishna by their unique characteristics. Ekata Shunya Prabhu Anandu Apar Kaha Kaha Damodara Bole Bar Bar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu felt unlimited happiness upon hearing these descriptions, and he again and again requested Swarup Damodar to continue speaking. Damodar Kohe Krishna Rasika Sekar Rasa Vadaka Rasa Moy Kolevar. Damodar Goswami said, Krishna is the master of all transcendental mellows, of all rasas, and the taster of all transcendental mellows or rasas. And his body is composed of transcendental bliss. Prema Moy, Bapu Krishna, Bhakta Prema Deen, Shuddha Preme, Rasagune, Gopika Praveen. Krishna is full of ecstatic love and always subordinate to the love of his devotees. The gopis are very much experienced in pure love and in the dealings of transcendental mellows. Gopikara Preme Nahi, Rasavasa Dosh, Ateva Krishna Kore Parama Santosh. There is no flaw or adulteration in the love of the gopis, therefore they give Krishna the highest pleasure. Evam Shashankam Su Virajita Nisha Sasatyakamo Nurata Balaganaha Shisheva Atmani Avaruda Sorata Sarva Sharat Kavya Katara Saraya Sarva Sharat Kavya Kata Rasashraya. Lord Shri Krishna, who is the absolute truth, enjoyed his rasa dance every night during the autumn season. He performed this dance in the moonlight, and with full transcendental mellows, he used poetic words. Lord Shri Krishna, who is the absolute truth, enjoyed his rasa dance every night during the autumn season. He performed this dance in the moonlight, and with full transcendental mellows, he used poetic words and surrounded himself with women who were very much attracted to him. Bama ek Gopigan, Dakina Ekgan, Nanabhave, Koraya, Krishna, Rasa, Asvadan. The gopis can be divided into a left wing and a right wing. Left wing is Bama, and right wing is Dakina. So, Bam, you'll hear that in Bengal when you, Bam, someone's turning left. You're in a taxi and someone says, Bama, Bama, Bama means go to the left. Or docking to go to the right. So the gopis can be Vama ek gopigan, Dakina ek gan, Nanabhave Koraya Krishna Rasa Svadan. The gopis can be divided into a left wing and a right wing. Both wings induce Krishna to taste transcendental mellows by virtuous manifestations of ecstatic love. Gopigan Madhye Shrestha Radha Thakurani Nirmala Ujjwala Rasa Prema Ratnakani. Of all the gopis, Srimati Radharani is the chief. She is a jewel mine of ecstatic love and the source of all purified transcendental conjugal mellows. So she's the very embodiment of conjugal or Madhurya Ras. Bayase Madhyana Tehos Swabhavete Sama Gara Prema Bhave Teho Nirantara Bhama. Radharani has grown up and her character is equipoised. She is always deeply absorbed in ecstatic love and always feeling in the mood of a left-wing gopi. The left wing and right wing of the gopis has been explained by Rupa Goswami in his Ujjwala Nilamani. The left wing is described in this way: Nana Grahe Sadho Yukta Chaityoye Chag Kopana Abeda Nayake Praya Krura Vamiti Kirtyate. A gopi who is always eager to be jealously angered, who is very enthusiastic for that position, who immediately becomes angry when defeated, who is never under the control of a hero, and who always opposes him is called a Vama, or a left-wing gopi. Sri Rupa Goswami describes the right-wing gopis in this way: Asaya Mana Nirbande Nayake Jukta Badani Samabhishtena Vedya Cha Dakina Parikirtita. A gopi who cannot tolerate womanly anger, who speaks suitable words to the hero, and who is satisfied by his sweet words, is called the Dakina, or a right-wing gopi. So she can be, right-wing gopis can be pacified and calmed down. The Vama, the left-wing gopis, they're not going to be calmed down. They're going to be angry and chastise. They chastise Krishna. Vamya Swabhave Mana Ute Nirantar Taramadye Ute Krishner Ananda Sagar. Because she is a left-wing gopi, her womanly anger is always awakening, but Krishna derives transcendental bliss from her activities. Aher Iva Gati Premna Sabhava Kutila Bhavet Ato Hetor Hetos Cha Yunor Mana Udanshati. The progress of loving affairs between a young boy and a young girl is by nature crooked, like the movement of a snake. Because of this, two types of anger arise between a young boy and girl: anger with a cause and anger without a cause. So sometimes there's no cause for the anger. Etashuni Bari Prabhu Ananda Sagar Keho Keho Kahe Prabhu Bole Damodar. Sri Chaitanya Mahaprabhu heard these talks. His ocean of transcendental bliss increased. He therefore told Swarup Damodar, go on speaking, and thus Swarup Damodar continued. So I'm going to stop at this place. Tomorrow we'll continue. Now, sing Hari Harai. Hare Hare Nama Krishna Jarabhaya Nama. Hare Hare Nama Krishna Jarabhaya Nama. Jarabhaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Jarabhaya Madhavaya Keshavaya Nama. Gopal Govinda Ram Shrimadi Sudan. Gopal Govinda Ram Shrimadi Sudan. Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan. Giridhari Gopinatha Madana Mohan. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Sri Chaitanya Nityananda Sri Advaita Chandra. Dharadhara Srivas Hari Gora Bhaktivedanta. Hara Srivas Hari Gora Bhaktivedanta. Swarup Samata Bhaktivedanta. Swarup Samata Bhaktivedanta. Shiva Gopala Bhatta Rasa Ramina. Shiva Gopala Bhatta Rasa Ramina. Aisa Gosai Gori Karana Bandhan. Aisa Gosai Gori Karana Bandhan. Jai Te Vignana Shami Sapuran. Jai Te Vignana Shami Sapuran. Aisa Gosai Jai Muitanadan. Aisa Gosai Jai Muitanadan. Dasavar Pararenu Mora Panchagas. Dasavar Pararenu Mora Panchagas. Sundarachala Sevi Bhakta Sanevas. Sundarachala Sevi Bhakta Sanevas. Janame Janame Mor Eya Bilas. Janame Janame Mor Eya Bilas. Echai Gosai Jabe Bhante Koilabas. Echai Gosai Jabe Bhante Koilabas. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Radha Krishna Nitya Lila Korila Prakash. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindaban. Anande Bolo Hari Bhaja Vrindaban. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhya-lila. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pade Madhya-lila. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya. Shri Guru Vaishnava Pad Padma Koriya. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Nara Damodar. Harinam Sankirtana Kohe Nara Damodar. Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Haribo, Haribo, Haribo. Feels like my voice has become a little hoarse. The Bengalis say my throat is broken. No, they say my neck is broken. If they become hoarse, they say my neck is broken. Jaya Saparikara Shishi Guru Guranga Gandharvika Giridhara Ki Jaya. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Tilak Neri Maharaj Ki Jaya. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Nirmalacharya Maharaj Ki Jaya. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Sundar Govinda Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jaya. Jayam Vishnupad Paramahansa Paravajakacharya Ashtatara Sadashi Shrimad Srila Bhakti Rakak Srila Dev Goswami Maharaj Ki Jai. Jai Bhagavan Srila Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Thakur Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Gaur Kishordas Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Satchidananda Bhaktivedanta Thakur Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Vaishnava Sarvabhauma Srila Jagannath Das Babaji Maharaj Ki Jai. Rupanuga Guru Varga Ki Jai. Namachari Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Shri Rupa Sanatana Bhatta Raghunath, Shri Jiva Gopal Bhatta Dasha Raghunath, Shad Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Premsigo Shri Krishna Chaitanya, Prabhu Nityananda, Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shivasadi, Shri Gaura Bhaktivinoda Ki Jai. Srila Krishnadas Kaviraj Goswami Prabhu Ki Jai, Sri Chaitanya Charitamrita Ki Jai, Vishvavaranya Srila Bhaktivedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupad Ki Jai. Jayam Vishnupad Srila Bhakti Kusham Ashram Maharaj Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnava Vrinda Ki Jai. Shri Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Shri Mayapur Ki Jai. Saparshada Shri Nityananda Prabhu Ki Jai. Saparshada Srimad Mahaprabhu Ki Jai. Shri Kuladvip Ki Jai. Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Mat Ki Jai. Soquel Sri Chaitanya Saraswat Seva Ashram Ki Jai. Ganga Devi Ki Jai, Tulasi Maharani Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Shri Vrindaban Ki Jai, Shri Radha Krishna, Go Gopi Govardhan, Shyam, Radha Kunda Kalindi, Yamuna Jo Ki Jai, Samaveda Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai, Shri Harinam Sankirtan Ki Jai, all the assembled devotees Ki Jai, Gaur Premanandi Hari Hari.